Evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for another one. I want to say happy 4th of July to everybody on the East Coast. Uh, Happy 4th of July, everybody. So this is like every year we do. We're on every just about every major holiday. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, you name it, we're on. If it's a holiday, we're definitely on. So happy 4th of July. When we come back, we'll we'll just talk we'll talk some football, you know what I mean? NFL football.
Talking some late night football.
Hell yeah. We'll drop the link and give everybody a chance to talk. So that being said, yeah, man, let's cue the intro and we will be right back.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Hey man, shout out to my man HB. Um, this is a good thumbnail. Friday the 13th and 4th of July. What a way to combine the two, you know?
Nothing says Friday the 4th of July like Friday the 13th.
Uh-huh. It's on a Friday, so I think that's probably why he did it. What's going on, Ali? I see you in the back.
It's Friday the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on. I was trying to say without it sounding like 14th. It still does.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, this is a dead period. That's why I think that's why one of the October is probably like my favorite month of the year because you have all the major sports are playing at the same time. Baseball is coming to an end. And that's basketball starting up. Football is underway. October is like the only month where all the three major sports are happening, and hockey too. I mean, all four. Hockey too is going on too as well.
Mm.
What's going on, G? I hope you are well. You know.
I know you added the main ones, but soccer's going on at that time as well.
Mm-hmm.
So every sport virtually is going on. It's the sweet spot.
Yeah. But I mainly mentioned the American ones.
Well, soccer is an American sport
Yeah.
now. We have Major League Soccer.
what you
It's
talking about?
growing.
What's talking
Huh?
about, place?
You know,
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
Actually,
still
we kind of have to mention soccer because if memory serves me right, soccer is either the third or fourth most popular sport in the United States now.
yeah.
So you technically have to mention them.
And then I didn't vote for that.
I know you didn't, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying the masses
The only
have
thing
voted
you
for
have
it.
to do is pay taxes and die.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But at any rate, yeah.
hey, but I tell you what, there's a lot of Sounders fans out here, and Sounders games are badass. It's because soccer's badass to watch in person, and a lot more people have gone to now soccer games.
I will say soccer games are completely different going in person than they
Oh yeah,
are
100%.
than watching it on TV. I've taken people and we've actually got to sit in the supporter section. It's off the chain. People are like, "Holy crap! I did not
Oh yeah,
expect
that's
this."
amazing to watch it in person.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. So when training camp is starting soon?
End of July, I believe. Last
Yeah.
week of July it starts. I'm still waiting to find out when they're going to give me my tickets.
For training camp, right?
Yeah, like we've already put in placed our bid on them. We're just waiting for them to move, I believe, to our accounts. I'm just checking right now. Let me see if there's any word on that.
Yeah, man. I already hear some fireworks going off. It's supposed to be raining this weekend, at least where I'm at.
It's rained all week. It's going to continue raining.
Yeah, I definitely don't miss riding my scooter to work as a math tutor. Usually when it would happen, because it'd be during the day, and it starts pouring down rain, so I'd pull over somewhere and just wait it out, unless it was going to be a while. But most of the time, I would do that. Sometimes even take my shoes off, but I still have my helmet on. But it wasn't that far of a drive. I was like, man, I don't want my shoes to be soaking wet, man. Like, it's not that bad. It wasn't too dangerous to drive barefoot that day for a little while, because I was like, my shoes are not getting wet. I'm not doing it. Because I was on a little scooter, so I didn't have to shift pedals and stuff. Barefoot, that would suck. That would suck, but I was able to do it on a scooter. Because that rain is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Man, but training camp battles. What? Now that we, do you think that the Dolphins are going to be picking up a cornerback soon?
I think so. We kind of need it. We definitely need a corner. They addressed the tight end position, so we know who the replacement is. We have an actual starting safety. I think with the safeties in our room, to be honest, and the personnel, I think we want to run in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
I think we don't necessarily need to have the top flight corner, but we definitely need to bring somebody in, at least one, for sure.
Yeah, I know that Asante Samuels Jr. going around, but yeah, man. Unless we're bringing, the only way I wouldn't mind bringing him in is if we're bringing him for the vet minimum.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It doesn't. We're not losing anything if we bring him for the vet minimum.
I'm cool with it if they bring in players for the vet minimum. I don't want to pay anybody either. To be honest, if we were to get Asante Samuel super cheap, and then we got Rasul Douglas, I think we're set, bro. The defense is done. You're good. The only question I still have, though, and I still feel we may need to address it, who is the depth we have on the offensive line? We know who the starters potentially are.
Mm-hmm.
I need the depth. Who's going to be backing up the tackles? Who's going to be backing up the guards? We know Eichenberg may or may not be the person, but we need to see who those other pieces of the depth is going to be.
Cap for life. What's going on?
Happy Independence Day, gentlemen. How are you?
What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen.
How's everything? How's everybody doing? How are you doing, sir?
I am perplexed and confused with the current events that have occurred in the past 72 hours. I just from what I'm hearing now, man, and take this for a grain of salt because it is rumor mill season, propaganda season.
Mm-hmm.
But if Asante Samuel is working out on the beach, I'm getting hits from guys in Philly that Fangio will probably try to cock block and get him just to spite Miami. So take that for what it's worth. But the longer that Greer takes, it's not a good sign for us. It's less than 2 weeks till camp. So my thing is, if we're content with Cam and Cater and Storm, and you're really serious about this youth movement moving forward, man, that goes to show me that Ross has closed the checkbook and he does not trust Greer moving forward. It's just starting to look like that more and more now, man.
Who does the Eagles have as corners over there anyway?
Well, the thing is, the Eagles just got, I think, Douglas, who was the GM for the Jets, just went to the Eagles as a draft scout consultant. So I'm just, if Douglas would go over there to try to help out Howie in recruiting and getting draft picks and getting scouts and all that stuff, he's a former Jet, bro. He's going to try to infiltrate us knowing that we're weak right now at the position. That's just my 2 cents. But if the Eagles are stacked in the front office, they're going to try to do what they can to make their team even better, bro. They just won the Super Bowl.
You remember? You do remember Joe Douglas came from the Eagles. That's where they hired him from, the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So the Eagles right now are like, F it, bro. We're going to go all in just like the Panthers and just stacking up on players, bro. That's what we should be doing this year, knowing that we have this all-in year now. Because if we don't win now, bro, they're going to dismantle this whole organization.
Yo, G, what do we owe this privilege? What's going on, G?
Gee,
Cap for life, shake money.
What's up,
Ali.
sir? How's it going?
I can't spoil it, man. What y'all got going on?
None,
Talking-
man. We just here celebrating the 4th of July, man.
True,
I hope
true.
Uncle Crypto's okay, man, because I haven't heard. I called him and he just hasn't answered yet.
Probably getting some rest, man. Everybody was on spaces all day, bro. That shit was like a marathon today, man.
Yeah.
It's good though, man. It gets you through the day at work for sure.
Yeah. What's funny is, by the way, I want to continue the topic. We were talking about crash outs, our favorite crash outs. What were some of your favorite crash outs in the TFTG? Can anybody think of any?
the what?
I think one of my favorites was when Crypto and Color were yelling at each other, calling each other fascists, and trying to prove why each other are fascists. I thought that was funny.
Was that the one where you and Color were putting each other in the back?
No. That I'm talking about Crypto and Color.
Okay.
Because it spilled over to me. No, you're a fascist. No, you're a fascist. So I thought it was funny that they were trying to prove that each other were fascists. But no, I will say that crash out was funny because it was unexpected and never seen before, to be honest. So I mean, that crash out, the one that you mentioned, is pretty good.
By the way, also Mark and Michael K.
Yeah, Mike and Mark. Yeah, so that's a good one. Yeah.
Every time when Color crashes out, I'll be like, but then I realize now, like, he calms down, but sometimes it be sounding like, I'll be like, damn, calm down, man. But he really is very, very passionate, man, for sure.
So is Crypto. They both are. They both are very passionate about what they say, and when they absolutely believe they're right, they're not going to deter from that.
You're
not going to get them off their square. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Have a conversation, man, and be using words or talking about stuff like I've never heard in my life. And I just think that's amazing, man. Like they both are like walking encyclopedias, man. Both of them very intelligent. I mean,
definitely.
All respect. Like, yeah, man. I hear them like sometimes they get to talking. I'll be like, what the? But it's like, yeah, it's deep for sure.
Hey, speaking of crash outs, right? Let me ask you this: when you talk about bras, obviously, when we're talking about basketball and football, who do you think, when there's a brawl, who do you think has the best bras, football or basketball?
You're talking about a fight, as in brawl, right?
Yeah, kind of like how the
Are you purposely excluding baseball from this question?
Yeah. I guess we could do all sports.
The malice in the palace.
So right now, just between football and who?
Football and basketball.
I'm going to say
basketball has the worst fights.
I think basketball has better fights than football does.
Yeah, well, I meant better. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, because like, for example, like, I don't know if you're old enough, Tong, but Bill Laimbeer, when he was with the Pistons, those were some fights, man. Those were some fights in basketball. And even now, more recently, you're starting to see it in the Big Three league.
Well, like only like Meta World Peace, before he was Meta World Peace.
Yeah, when he was Ron Artest.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then Draymond Green.
The malice in the palace, bro.
Draymond Green. We got
it was Steven Jackson, Ron Artest. It was like what the Pistons and the Pacers all up in the stands, like throwing punches at the fans and whatnot.
Jermaine O'Neal was in it too.
Yeah, bro. The malice in the palace.
I want to say that it's hands down, it's basketball, bro. Football doesn't allow it. There's too many people to stop you from even happening.
You remember the Miami Heat fighting the Knicks? Charlie Ward.
I remember that one too. Yeah.
in football, you got to be a big dummy to take your helmet off. I mean, you basically set yourself up to get either you take your helmet off, unless you're using your helmet as a weapon, but you take your helmet off, now you
Yeah.
take your helmet on, you got
Who was the receiver for Dallas that got into a fist fight with a Tennessee corner? Do you guys remember that? Like they got so pissed at each other and just started beating the shit out of each other.
I remember Miles Garrett grabbing that helmet and almost killed what was this guy's name?
Mason
Rudolph or
Rudolph.
Pickett?
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Remember when Keith Talib will always walk up the crab tree and snatch his chain off?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I want to say the worst fight I ever saw was, or actually interesting fight in football. It wasn't even in a game; it was in a practice, and who was the big time defensive tackle that that the Rams had ripped someone's helmet off and started hitting people with it. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? He recently retired.
You know, Miles Garrett? No, that was
No, Rams.
No,
He was
Aaron Donald?
Yeah, Aaron Donald did that in a practice. And I was like, hell yeah. Let's do it.
DeAndre Hopkins basically made what was the Redskins cornerback? He was covering him. They were having like joint practices and do tours.
You remember when Josh Norman and OBJ were got into it?
Yeah. Was it Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Andre Johnson and no,
Cortland Finnegan.
No, I'm talking about Norm and OBJ.
Oh, you talking about Buddy from Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot his name, bro.
Hey, who's that cat? Deion fought. Remember Deion had it when he was with the Falcons? You ain't seen the highlight that highlight reel where Deion fighting? I don't know who the receiver is, but like literally he throwing.
Oh no, I think that was Andre Rosen.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to say the fights that I truly remember happened in college football. Because like David Boston versus Charles Woodson, that was like a Tyson fight, bro. I love that fight because Charles Woodson beat the shit out of David Boston. That's why when David Boston came to the league, he made sure that he got those guns up. He had to get. It looked like he was on roids afterwards because he was.
Now, I remember LeGarrette Blount, bro. LeGarrette Blount had lost a game. And the guy from the other team was taunting LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount just cold clocked and knocked him out, bro.
Yeah, when he played
remember that too.
For Oregon.
Yep.
Wasn't it a Stanford player?
Something like that, yep. Cold clock, bomb.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that Warren Sapp was about to fight that coach from Green Bay?
McCarthy? Was it McCarthy or something like that?
You know, it wasn't McCarthy, it was somebody else because Warren Sapp blocked. It was a legal block, but everybody was calling it a cheap shot. He actually knocked him out of football and freaking when he went to shake the coach's hand, he's like, "No, you're a dirty player," and this and that. He refused to shake his hand, so he like put on some pads. Yeah, Warren Sapp almost got into fight with the Green Bay coach.
Wow, man. For some reason the dude we picked up, man, we had him here and he like literally had changed his ways, but I think when he was with Detroit,
he's my Dominican Sue.
He used to stomp on people's hands or some shit. Got caught doing that.
Yeah, he stepped on Brett Favre's hand. No, Brett Favre. I think was it Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers? I can't remember, but he stepped on one of them hands.
No, that might have been Ben Roethlisberger. No, he kicked Ben Roethlisberger in the balls.
Yeah, then he stepped on somebody's cap.
Yeah, he's had a bunch of incidents like that. Him and Burfict, borderline psycho. Man.
Dude, listen. I think Burfict was the one who gave Antonio Brown that CTE in that playoff game.
My God, over here.
You remember that?
Yeah, man, knock that man in the next game.
Yeah, he wasn't. It was the hit was so hard that he had to miss the following playoff game.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that knocked out Grant when Flores came out there with Devontae Parker?
I don't know. They took 2 cheap shots on
I know you're talking about the guy that was
Now-
hitting Jakeem Grant.
No, now I have to come up because that was Aaron Rodgers. I can't help that y'all were too young to remember that play. That was Aaron Rodgers, and every
I
one
want
of
to say it
us
was with the
was
Bengals.
glad
Might have been.
that he stomped on him. He deserved to be stomped on. Aaron Rodgers, come on.
Why is he? No.
Speaking of which, one of the best college football fights was FIU versus Miami Hurricanes back in 2006.
Oh yeah, bro.
Remember that one? That was one of the best ones, to be honest.
Yeah. That was Lamar Thomas doing the commentary. That man stopped the commentary to say, "Oh, y'all want to go ahead? We can go ahead. We ready." That man started saying it during the game, bro.
Oh man, I remember like there was a the PAT attempt, and then next thing I know, one of the players, I think it was the Miami player, was on top of the FIU guy and punching him in the chin like over and over again. I was like, oh shit. End up becoming.
Hey, but you know what? Look, I'm a UM guy, but it was nice to see that, bro, because it was nice to see that we got another team in Miami that has the same heart and the same want to win as the Canes, bro. And it was FIU was giving them they had T.Y. Hilton. I forgot who else they had, bro, but they were getting people on that squad at one point. Now, they had John too at one point.
T.Y. Hilton. Damn, FIU had T.Y. Hilton? Crap.
Yeah, they had John too and somebody. I'm trying to remember who else. They had a bunch of ballers come out of FIU the past 7 years.
Was that when was that?
2006 is the one I'm talking about.
Because what's his name is still the head coach there, right?
Who?
White dude.
No, they traded coaches.
He went to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Oh, he did? Well, that's who he used to
You're
coach.
talking about Lane Kiffin, right?
Lane Kiffin,
Yeah, he went to Ole Miss.
Listen, Lane Kiffin is an ass. The only thing Monty Kiffin ever did bad was raise his son. That's the only thing Monty Kiffin ever did bad, was not beat his son bad enough to make him a real man. Monty Kiffin, Lane Kiffin is such an idiot. Can't stand the dude.
Damn.
The little ass. Well, check out what he did at USC. Check out what he did to Tennessee. I mean, just look at the man's career. He's a little idiot. Go Gators. We beat their ass last year. Hello.
He won, but it was with Saban.
That's right. But all the other times, look at what he did to USC. They were sanctioned for how long after the guy left? And then he went to Tennessee and built them up and said, yeah, I'm your dude.
Those sanctions were from Pete Carroll.
No. Lane Kiffin, no.
I think you're confusing USC with UCF.
No, I'm not. No.
University of Central. He went to
Lane
USC to college.
Lane Kiffin never coached at UCF.
He went to USC.
Yes, he was at USC.
Yeah. No,
and I know
he was right. He was right. That wasn't Lane Kiffin. That was Pete Carroll.
No,
Lane Kiffin was at USC also.
Yes. He also got them sanctioned because he cheated. I'm telling you, Lane Kiffin. I know Pete Carroll did his crap to USC, but so did Lane Kiffin.
They didn't have any sanctions. When did they have sanctions for that?
When
did
USC
go back and look
sanctions?
when he was there?
No, I'm not. But I'm saying sanctions in reference to what Lane Kiffin did, not what Pete Carroll did.
Just go back and look, because I'm telling you, it happened, and he ruined. Look what he did to Tennessee.
Well, hold on, Ali, go ahead. You were saying something. Let Ali say something real quick. Go ahead, Ali.
I was gonna say when Lane Kiffin was there, they had sanctions.
Yes.
But that's when he was
Lane
there.
Kiffin's tenure at USC was significantly impacted by the severe NCAA sanctions placed on the program due to violations related to the Reggie Bush scandal.
Told you.
These sanctions included a 2-year postseason ban and a loss of 30 scholarships over 3 years.
So was it Lane Kiffin or was it Pete Carroll?
Well, he was
Pete
the
Carroll.
coach at the time when it got hit.
Right.
Let me see here. What does it say?
It was also, I'm telling you, Lane Kiffin had a big part of that as well. I'm telling you.
Well, we're looking it up now.
I'm looking. Give me a second here.
Yeah.
Was he was Lane Kiffin there when Pete Carroll was there at all?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I think he was after Pete Carroll.
And if he was, he would have been like a ball boy or something.
Sorry.
No, he was directly involved. You have to go back and look because he was a big problem, and that's why they ran him out of USC. They ran him out of there.
No, they ran him out of there because he sucks as a head coach.
Well, that too. That too. You just have to go back and look. I'm telling you, they put sanctions against him too because he's a cheater. That's what he does. I mean, his dad was an amazing coach. He was a little needed his ass spanked as a kid. Didn't make it happen.
What's his dad's name, Miss Sam?
Monty Kiffin. He was the defensive coordinator for Tampa when they won their Super Bowls. You know, with Warren Sapp, with that whole group. Monty Kiffin, I know it was a long time ago, but Monty Kiffin was an amazing coach.
Well,
defensive coordinator.
Hey, I want to say this real quick. If anybody is watching or listening at home, I know today is technically the holiday, but let's please be safe. Drink responsibly. Don't do anything stupid. I already got the neighbors across the street yelling and screaming and driving drunk and acting all crazy across the street right now. So please just be safe on the road. Don't do anything. Call an Uber or Lyft. It's definitely worth it. Please. Okay, continue. I'm so sorry.
And this has been brought to you by Ali, our favorite, calm, normal person we love.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Yeah, emphasis.
TFTG is not responsible for the making of this commercial.
You have to say it faster than that. You know, you can't say that stuff unless you're saying it super fast and nobody knows what you're saying.
I was trying. Yeah, my bad.
I'm just teasing you. That was funny. Oh, Liz.
Hey, so when I first clicked the link, man, y'all were talking about what cornerback we might bring in, man.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so bad that they don't bring in like an Asante Samuel or the Douglas dude or whoever, because to me they're basically like the B corner on most teams, and if we bring him in, he's gonna be looked at like he's the veteran or like the best corner that we got. And I don't think Asante Samuel Jr. is ready to go out there one-on-one and guard Jamar Chase, or he just. To me, I'd rather have the rookies out there, man, and let whoever amongst them young guys like rise to the top and just take the. But I don't want to bring nobody in because I feel like it's going to be too much pressure on that guy because he's going to be looked at as the number one. And in reality, if he was still available as a corner, he's definitely not a number one corner. So Samuel, Douglas, none of them guys are really what we would be bringing them in here to be. And I think that just would make us look bad as a team because teams would say, man, their best corner is Asante Samuel Jr. We about to eat, So that's just the way I see it, man. I'd rather the rookies take their lumps and just grow. This is a year of growth. Am I lagging, man? Straight. You hear me?
By the way, the year they got sanctioned in 23, the UFC, and Lincoln Riley was the coach.
Hey, my fault, y'all, man. I'm used to how it go on like the Twitter spaces, man. I be jumping like topic to topic. My bad.
No, that's all good. It's all good. Oh man. So what are your expectations this season, G?
I think at best, man, we're 9-8. You know, if we're lucky, and I think like the floor is probably like a 4-13. So somewhere between 9 and 4 wins. I mean, I don't see us like making it past the wild card. And I mean, if we make it to the wild card, it'd be a miracle. I don't know. I mean, I think it all depends on the quarterback, man. And I know that's a tired
Will
narrative,
you
but
tell me your prediction again? What you said?
I said I believe at the worst we're 4-13, and at best we're 9-8. So somewhere in between there. I don't see us like going past wild card weekend if we can get the wild card weekend. I mean, that would be like the ceiling, but I just don't see it. I want to have the optimism, you know, but at the same time, I'm looking at this reality. And
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
I'm kind of with you, G. Like, I honestly think we're more on the 8 and 9 side. As of right now, right? I am worried about what we have on paper right now when it comes to the secondary, specifically the corner position. And also, I'm worried about the backups or the depth we have at the offensive line position.
Yeah.
And everybody tells me that injuries is a part of this game. Well, if you don't have any depth on that offensive line, we're really not going to be doing shit, I guess. So, that being said, I still have a hard time believing that we're going to win more than 9 games. In fact, I don't think we can win 9 games as of right now. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't if we make some moves and we add depth to the offensive line, and we also shore up the corner position. Now, do we need 2 starters at corner? I don't really think so. I think maybe we need to go find us a starter, one specific starter, and we can work with the rest we have, but it's still going to be it's close on that front. I'm more worried about the offensive line, to be honest.
And you're so right about the depth. You can't worry about depth if you don't have the first line, right? Like you.
Well,
it doesn't even make sense
now, though. I think we do. I think
Yeah.
we have all of our starters on the offensive line. You got you got Patrick Paul, you got Austin Jackson, you got Daniels, who we just signed this year. We got our center for sure, and then we got I'm going to call him Jonah because I can't say his last name, and I apologize for that. Those are your starters, right? That's your starting offensive line. Now I want
your faith in that, though, Ali.
Well,
how do you feel about them?
Well, I'm very comfortable with our center. I think our center did a good job, so I'm good with that. Austin Jackson, look, when Austin Jackson was healthy and playing, the offensive line did perform better last year. And even Patrick Paul, he showed signs that he could actually play. But I think he needed more development, and I'm hoping he got that over the offseason. And he got a lot of playing time to kind of get the experience. Now I just need to see him put it together. But I'm comfortable with what we have as the starters. But if Austin Jackson goes down, or let's say Daniels or Jonah goes down, who are going to back up those people? Right? Yeah. Who's going to be your backup center? I guess Eichenberg could be the backup center, but what happens if the center goes down and the guard goes down? Then what? Yeah. You know what I mean? You're going to tell me Borum's going to come in and be your right or left guard? I don't know about that because when I watched the tape on him, it did not look pretty at all. At all. Right? I know he may have the size, but if you don't know the know-how or have the skills, that may not be the best. And then who's going to be your backup left tackle or right tackle? Right? Those are the questions that I have that you still don't know, and we need to see camp play out. I can tell you all the other positions, who's playing. We definitely have the depth in the running back room. Not worried about that. I'm not worried about the tight end room at all. I'm not worried about the defensive end or outside linebacker room. That's perfect. The defensive tackle room, we really loaded up there, so I think we're good there too, right? Safety, I'm not worried about as long as Mika Fitzpatrick is definitely, going to play. I have no problems with that safety room now at all. The question is, who's going to be your starting corners, right? Because there's some question marks there.
Yeah.
And the depth the depth and offensive line. There's nobody I can name that I'm comfortable with. Eichenberg, come on. I'm an Eichenberg fan, and I still don't even think he's the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should tell you something. And I don't know how to say this, but the last couple Super Bowls have been won in the trenches, specifically this last one. The defensive line and offensive line played a huge part in that Super Bowl. And if we want to actually get there someday, we got to start building the lines up. And we've started that on the defensive side. I need to see what's going to happen on the offensive side.
Yeah, I don't agree with disagree with that, except for maybe the tight end group. I don't feel confident with them, but I mean, Minka, it's exciting to think of him coming back, but Minka has shown that he can decide to play or not decide to play. Is he going to decide to play? Is he going to bring Minka, or is he going to, I don't know.
Look, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, Pam, because here's the thing. Mika that left was immature, young, not even a few months out of his rookie season, right?
Yep.
So now it's however many, what has it been, 5 years, I want to say? It's been like 5-6 years later now. Now that it's been that many years later, right, he's more mature. He played under Tomlin, right? Tomlin's had his hands on him and has worked with him. This guy has been a 3-time All-Pro. I think he has 5 Pro Bowls and has been productive every season since. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he can come in right away, and it'll be as if he never left, to be honest. That's what I think.
Hey, G2, who's that in your avatar? Is that Woody Harrelson?
Nah, man. You know we got a
Who's that?
But long story short of the whole thing is that I think he wants to play. I think the whole situation that people are starting to throw around on the rumor mill is blown out of proportion. Especially,
okay, that's Eichenberg.
Yeah. So,
Ollie, I get what you're saying with that, but one of the things that I consider an issue with Miami is what I see as a reputation of being fluff. Like, come in here, do whatever you want, play hard, don't play hard, you're going to get your check. And I can point at one person on our team and say, he has caused a lot of that issue. And yes, Mika is, older now. He's played for real, but is he coming to Miami to play for real, or is he coming to Miami to get a check?
I think he's coming to play for real.
I hope you're right. I was happy when we got him. I mean,
Listen,
I hope you're right.
Here's the thing, Minka. I think Minka is not like I think he's looking to. See, here's the thing with when you have Jalen Ramsey, he has a Super Bowl ring, so that gold jacket might will come easier to him. And I think Minka's looking for that gold jacket. So I don't think he's one of those guys that wants to be in Canton one day.
Here's the other part. Here's the other part that you may not have thought of too, Pam. He's already been paid. He's already gotten his top dollar contract, right? So because he's already gotten that big contract, you would think that his play would fall off. But if you go look at the stats and what he's accomplished, there's no fall off. He's been continuously been productive and been a top flight safety in this league, for the past 3 seasons. So that's why I'm thinking that he's going to come in here, put it all on the table and everything, because the reality is, and just like what Shake said, I think he wants a gold jacket too. But with that, he definitely has to try to win a Super Bowl still. So I'm thinking he's coming to play regardless of where he goes.
I hope you're right, and I know exactly what you're saying. But are any players coming to Miami thinking they're going to get a Super Bowl or a gold jacket? I I have never talked like this about Miami until last season, and I just see that our reputation as a team and an organization just looks pretty crappy. And I don't like that. My license plate front and back is Dolphins. Everything you see on me is Dolphins. So I represent all the time, and I'm willing to take the heat. But dadgum, I want to see these players get out there and do what they're being paid to do and have some pride in what they do.
What's
Don't
up, Scrappy?
make us look like fools. I feel like some of the players, and not all of them, but some players are playing us for a fool. I don't like how we've looked. I want us to have a more tough reputation. I don't get how you're a football team and you're viewed as a laughing stock. I don't get it. I just want to see us play football. We're a football team, for God's sake. Come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
Yeah,
Oh, she's right, man. She's right.
We started to lead with the logo. We started leading with money instead of talking about the 72 season and the days of old and having that be something to build on. It's more like you come to Miami and you're gonna get paid, and it's low no income tax.
The other thing, real quick.
1,000%.
The other thing here, real quick, and I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt, but one thing we also have to think about. I doubt. How do I put this? If you look at the moves, what we did this season in the offseason, Chris Greer kind of made a statement. He's not gonna just pay anybody to come here and just collect a paycheck. You're gonna come here on his dime and what he feels, that you're worth. That's why there's certain players we may have been interested in, we didn't sign them, right? Even freaking people were complaining that we didn't sign Joey Bosa for $12 million, right? Well, I'm sorry, he ain't worth $12 million.
Nope.
Right? We didn't overpay anybody. And everybody that we did give contracts to, if it was more than 1 year, let's say it's a 2 or 3 year deal, after 2 years, there's an out, right? So I think they're trying to change that stigma. With that also being said, for those that are all worried that, maybe Mika Fitzpatrick doesn't want to be here and we traded for him, I highly doubt Chris Greer agreed to a trade without talking to Mika's agent and finding out what's what before they even accepted. So I'm pretty sure they talked to him. They know he wants to play and what the expectation is, and that's why they agreed to the trade.
And Ollie, what you're saying makes sense, but I don't trust Chris Greer. He has a reputation of overpaying players who are older and injured. He has that reputation. And, sometimes it works out for a little while. I don't question a lot of those players' desire to play and how they played when they were on the field. But if you ain't on the field, I'm sorry, you're not helping us. And I literally don't even sound like myself talking about the Dolphins because I've never talked like this. Like I said, before last season, you would have never heard this out of me. I wore my aqua colored glasses, everything. Okay, wait for next season. Okay. But Chris Greer, dang dude, I question you huge. I question our coach when he's on the sidelines and I see him look defeated when we get down in a game. He's all excited and happy whenever we're doing great in a game. As a competitor, when things get tough, I get tougher. I'm going to be like in your face as a competitor. Why is our head coach not getting tougher? Why is he looking defeated on the sidelines instead of over there amped up? Okay, let's go. We got this. I think it starts right there at the top. And I think discipline is a huge issue. I think little things like clock management. Why has this man not gotten clock management under control? And it's a simple thing. It's something people always talk about, but it's for real. I I feel like, little flag football understands you got to have clock management. How come the Miami Dolphins have not gotten a hold of why is McDaniel not saying, listen, it's your job, dude, to manage the clock and make sure we don't make these mistakes? Delegate. If you can't handle it, delegate. There's so many things I just want to smack them in the head about and go, come on. We're a professional football team. Look like it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
I'm tired of looking like a team that has all the talent, all the ability. Our coach definitely has ability. He is a master with plays. And a lot of times plays that he has called have not been executed properly. But that is also on him. The buck stops with him. And yes, he's a young guy, but he's had time. Your time has come. We had some of the best talent in the league. We should have done something with it. And now I'm looking at it going, oh my gosh, has this passed us by?
Well, I mean, you can look at it at either the glass is half full or the glass is half empty, because we're gonna find out, because his body language the past month through mini camps has been very aggravating and irritated by the media. That tells me that he knows that he needs to do something in 8 weeks, and if he doesn't do something in 8 weeks, I think they're going to put him to the shelf and put Weaver in for the next 8 weeks to see what Weaver has. We've done this before.
Yeah, right. Yep. And why would he be aggravated with the media? He needs to be aggravated with himself.
He knows.
Well,
he
here's
knows
the thing.
He can't give long-winded answers anymore. He knows this. He knows that's it. This is it. Here. He knows.
Well,
yeah.
I want you to think about Philman's last year.
He just got paid too.
I want you to think about Philman's last year, Adam Gase's last year, Brian Flores last year. All of them looked like they didn't want to be there. It seems like they got fired on purpose because they weren't really. They were like Brian Flores didn't even cut his hair at one point. You know what I mean? It's like Adam Gase was in the sideline doodling. Joe Philman didn't look like he wanted to be there. You know what I mean? It's like, and what does that tell you? That maybe the front office is not letting him run the team like he thought he was going to run the team?
Jake, that's a good point. And I mean, you could be right about that. I really felt that way with Flores. I felt that Flores felt like he was hogtied.
He didn't want to be there. He didn't look like he didn't want to be there.
He absolutely, but he looked like it in the beginning because he thought he was gonna, get through that first year, do the best that he could with what he had, and he did. He did amazing things with, guys that aren't on other NFL teams. But then I feel like he did think, hey, I'm going to get to run this team and get who I want. And he didn't get what he wanted. And then he shut down. And, what do all those guys have in common? What does all these seasons have in common? Greer.
Yeah, and it's funny because people don't want to put the blame and emphasis on the dysfunction on the guy who hired the coach and hired the player personnel.
Well, to be
That's
fair,
what I don't understand. How you can blame everybody else and try to put the emphasis on the players taking blame, but the guy who got the groceries doesn't know how to shop.
Exactly.
well, listen, the reason I'm not tough on Greer, for one reason, and one reason alone, is because it's the collective.
Yeah, but that
One more
collective,
time, the
that collective stuff is look, that collective stuff can only work for so long. That only collective stuff can work for so long, bro. Greer has been here longer than the collective combined.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he's still there, because the collective. Why you think? Listen,
yeah, but he was there before the collective. That's what I'm trying to say. He's been here before Ross was even here.
remember they started the collective when what are you talking about? I'm talking about.
No, actually, Chris Greer's been here.
He's been here since Parcells. Parcells brought him along. He's been on the Parcells team since day one.
But Ross was here before Parcells.
No, Ross was here. Ross was here when Parcells was here. Ross was here. Huizinga sold it to Ross. One of the conditions was you have to start all over because Saban left Huizinga. Ross came here on a full rebuild with Parcells being the start of the rebuild with Ireland. That was the first whole rebuild. We got rid of everybody. And that was on Greer.
Was on Greer. He's actually been here, 25 years? Not as GM, but he's been with the Dolphins at least 25 years in some capacity. And this is 11 or 12 years as GM. So
and why do you think Ross isn't firing him? Because he gets along with the collective. If so, that's why. Trust me. Listen, here's what Dolphin fans fail to realize. If you was to get Ozzie Newsome, you can name all the greatest GMs that Dolphin had in history. We're still going to get the same results because.
No, I mean, look. I agree to a certain extent, but if you're the general manager and you're in charge of an organization, you don't let the owner override you for 26 years.
Cat for Life. I want to introduce my next guest from Sarasota, Florida. The one, the only. Ooh, yeah, Macho Man Crypto.
What's up, everybody? Man, I was passed out. I was tired, man.
Crypto, what they did to you on the spaces, man? They wore you out?
Yeah, I'm good. Nah, it's all fun. They wore me out, man. Cap, I was out for the count, man. I was pinned. I got suplex and tripleplex.
I'm glad you're here, man, because hey, Crypto, I'm glad you're here. So now I can show this picture right here, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that was it.
That's me and Crypto. That's me and Lewis right there. And then that's
the Hard Rock.
Yeah, we had the Hard Rock in Tampa, me and Crypto.
Yeah, I went there before. That's in Brandon, right?
Huh?
That's in Brandon, right?
No, that's in Tampa.
That was
Tampa.
Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Brandon.
Oh, okay.
My homeboy lives around there. We went there, I think, 2 times. It's pretty nice.
Oh shit.
I do agree with Kelvin about this.
Yeah. Oh, Kelvin down there?
Yeah.
Kelvin, get up here, man.
Yes.
I had to step
I
away
dropped the link
for
for
a
him.
minute, but what I was talking about Greer is the thing is we have changed everything but him. So if you're gonna call on every coach, you're gonna call on all the players, you're gonna change everybody, get rid of all these people, and you still have that last man standing, he's got to go.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man. That's Ross. That's Ross's guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, Russ needs to wake up and smell the aloysius. He needs to go.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know who's always in his ear too, and Nat Moore
That's
needs
a
to
good
start
one, man.
stepping up and talking louder because Nat Moore doesn't get a free pass either. He's always in Ross's ear. So if Greer's not in his ear and Nat Moore is more in his ear than Greer is, then
Matt
a
Moore,
power shift needs to be done.
the former quarterback.
Well, wide receiver, Nat
Yeah,
Moore.
Miami
Not Matt
Dolphins.
Moore.
Yeah,
Nat Moore,
yeah,
the wide receiver.
yeah. Wide
People
receiver.
don't think that guy got more pull than what people think, but I'm telling you, him and Garfinkel always side by side. And that guy too needs to start jumping on board. And either he's with us or he's against us when it comes to the front office, because every time I see him, he's in Ross's ear talking about something.
That is news to me. I did not know that. I'm glad to learn that.
Well,
I
I've known
did
that for a
not know
while.
that.
People didn't want to listen, but now they're listening.
Yeah, because Nat Moore is part of the Dolphins alumni.
Cat,
Well, I mean,
Cat for life.
I know that. I mean,
Cat,
I
Cat
watched
for
him
life.
play,
That
and yeah.
he's
Nat Moore.
also the
And
reason.
he's a former
He's
Gator.
also the reason we can get He's also the reason we can get Andrew Luck.
Hey, by the way, Ross and Nat Moore are former Gators. Just so you know that.
So Cat for life. Let me ask you a quick question. You're saying
Okay.
either he's with us or against us. Against who are you referencing, if you don't mind me asking?
Against either the front office, which he's been pretty much covering up all the crap that's been going on, because he knows what's going on and he knows who's in charge and who's not in charge and who's at fault. He knows all this. So my thing is, if you have 3 general managers already in that room and you got Garfinkel and Nat Moore playing like if they're presidents of the team, that's too many cooks in the kitchen. And Ross needs to amplify real loud. There's only one voice here, and it's not you guys, it's Greer. And if Greer can't handle that, you go get Cash Kelly to take over and you put him somewhere else like you did Tannenbaum. Because Tannenbaum was in the same position. They put him up in the front office and he magically disappeared. And this is exactly where it's going.
Delicious.
All right. Well, look, I just think regardless of what Nat Moore is, has the ear of Ross or
No, I'm just saying, if we're talking about a collective, that's the whole collective right there. That's 4 different guys with 3 different general managers. There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
I get that, and I get why that can cause problems, but the way that they're set up, bro, I just think they're just doing what they think is best for business.
Yeah, and how has that worked out the past 26 years?
And
Exactly.
right now,
How is that working?
And business is winning. You asked how it's working. I can
You
tell
really
you.
think business is winning from a public relations standpoint?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
think about it, there's a waiting list for season tickets.
From a public relations standpoint, you think we're winning?
Can I finish, please? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I really am. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. Just don't tell me that it's not. It's pretty much going to be the way it is, because that's the dysfunction we have now.
Let them talk, please.
Let me just tell you my point of view, and then you can interject at the end. I'm sorry. So essentially, yes, they're winning. Because if you call up I don't know if you're a season ticket holder, but if you're a season ticket holder, you have an account manager, right? You call up the account manager to inquire about adding more season tickets to your thing. They're going to tell you that there's a waiting list I have over 6,000 names on it, right? There's a several month waiting list for season tickets now. They're sold out. So the point is, they're still sold out. They still have all the events. They're still banking on money. They're not losing money, bro. This isn't a situation where we went 0-17 and the stadium.
This goes back to my original question. Okay. How does that have to do with a public relations standpoint from an image that we're getting as far as a dysfunctional soft team?
They just care about that.
Okay, so you care about them making money, but you want to stay quiet and keep spending that money. I don't think that math is mathing, bro.
I guess I don't understand what you're talking about.
What I'm saying is, if you're a season ticket holder, why are you buying tickets?
I'm buying tickets because I fucking love this team regardless of who's in charge or what's going on. All right. So yeah, I am part of the problem. I'm not disagreeing with you, okay, on that. But the point is, we're talking about the owners and the people that are in the collective, right?
All I'm saying is the collective that we have as an organization, as a community, is way bigger than that front office. And if we got together the same way they get together to take our money, I think they would change their tune.
Maybe, but I doubt that'll ever happen, bro.
I doubt it too, because people are really, really quick to say, yeah, let's do something about it, but let's go spend some tickets and tailgates first.
Yeah. So
I wish that was the case.
ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. So sometimes businesses have a way of making things look like, yes, we're all sold out on season tickets, you know, in order to cause a rush of, hey, we better get ours because they're sold out. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not actually factual that they're sold out. You know, businesses do things to make things look a certain way all the time. And it's not what it seems. Do you think that it is really what it seems?
Bro, the Buffalo game, the Buffalo game where we lost the division at home and got our asses kicked, that was all blue. There was no aqua and barely orange. You telling me we sold out that game?
Well, I will tell you this: this past season.
No, answer me. The day that we lost the division, how many blue jerseys did you see compared to ours if we sold it out?
So I can answer you that question.
Because our fans sell the tickets to the opponents. Our fans sell the tickets to the opposition. That's why.
Hold on. I thought it was 50-50.
It was 50-50. That's what I was trying to tell him.
It was not no 50-50, bro. I was there and I saw it, bro. Don't tell me what I saw. Tell me might have seemed different, but I was there and I saw all those people taking over the city.
Actually, it was 60. Actually, Dolphins. It was Actually, it was 40%.
You could have fooled me. That was a lot of blue I saw when we got our ass kicked. So that means a lot of our fans sold
the remember, number one, calm down. This ain't fucking Congress. And two,
shit, that's what
I was at that game too, bro.
So
then you're gonna tell me you saw more aqua and orange compared to the blue that day that we lost the division at home?
That's why I told you 60-40.
Okay, so you saw 60% of blue jerseys, and that should have been 100%.
No, I saw 60% of aqua jerseys.
Yes.
So where was the other 40%?
That's what I was trying to tell you, Cap for Life. I
okay,
understand.
But where's the other 40%? If we can sell out our season ticket holders, sell out games all the time, what was the other 40%?
What are you talking about?
Well,
what do you mean? What am I talking about? If we know how to sell out tickets, and Ali's saying that we're always losing because we're selling out tickets because season ticket holders have a season ticket waiting list for 6 years, why the hell didn't we sell out that season ticket game?
Well,
why was there 40% of blue jerseys from Buffalo? Because our fans that buy season tickets sold it to the opposition.
You got to remember, season tickets only account for so much of the stadium season tickets. Not every seat in the stadium is season tickets.
Yes.
So what I was
I'm just saying, if I'm a Dolphin rep, I won't sell my tickets to Buffalo guys. If I'm a Dolphin rep.
All right. So, Pamela, to answer your question about cooking the books, essentially, kind of like what you were insinuating. In the NFL, it's a lot harder to do that because if you think about it, this is a profit-sharing league. All the teams and players profit off of no matter what team is playing, no matter what stadium is in it, no matter what happens, right? So they don't have the ability to sit there and finagle the numbers because the NFL and all 32 teams are looking at the numbers at all times. So there's no way to manipulate it without anybody knowing. So I definitely understand where you're coming from because other businesses in a different format definitely do that. Yes. In this case, it doesn't happen. And here's the thing, Cap for Life, about what you're talking about. 2 seasons ago, I would have agreed with you. It was nuts with the amount of Bills fans that came to our stadium. I agree 100%. But the past 2 seasons, it has been less and less. And it was 60-40 in Miami's favor the last time around. Right?
60-40 is still too high, in my opinion. It should be not even 70-30.
Cap for life. I get you. But here's the reality of that. It doesn't matter if it's a aqua jersey or a blue jersey. The fact is the tickets got sold. That's what
fine.
I'm
But my
about.
complaint to you is, my man, they've been doing this since the last time we made the playoffs when we got in a blackout game that we couldn't even watch on TV. That's because nobody showed up. We've been doing this forever, bro. We sell our tickets to the opposition all the time.
Well, here's the thing, though. You gotta
But then-
remember, Cap for Life.
then
These
things don't
Bills
wanna
fans.
change.
Hold on, Cap for Life. These Bills fans pay triple. I think the one ticket they buy for that game, you could buy it's like buying 4 or 5 season tickets.
Yep.
And that's the ref's
people
fault.
will
The
take
ref
that
should not
money.
be doing that.
Well, one thing I can tell you too, Cap for Life. I've been going to Dolphin games all my life, which is really long. And
You remember the blackout game versus Indy? We couldn't even watch it at home because it was blacked out. We've been doing it forever, bro.
Hey,
I
Kelvin, the
understand,
link
but
works
what I'm
now,
trying
Kelvin.
to tell you
Try the
is
link now.
when you are in the stadium as a Dolphins fan, and there's so many fans of other teams, which happens because we're in Florida, because we are from Florida, that happens all the time. It's one of those states. It's not like other stadiums where you can barely get a ticket. But even if it's only 40%, it feels overwhelming in Dolphin Stadium.
Exactly.
I get
Exactly.
you. It feels
Hey,
overwhelming.
I don't know if you know this, Cap for Life, but when the Giants play in Tampa, it's completely flooded with Giants Stadium. You know what's funny is somebody told me that it is cheaper, and a Patriots fan, because we got a bunch of snowbirds here in Port Charlotte.
Yeah.
And he says it is cheaper to fly to Miami, get a ticket here than it is to get a home game in New England.
Yeah.
And you know that isn't wrong. You know it's a fact. It's an absolute fact. And I mean,
Yeah.
I hate it
Especially
as
during the
much
big
as
year.
anybody.
Yeah. I
Sitting
mean,
here feeling like a minority in our own stadium, it makes me furious.
and you want to know why those Bills fans come? Just like what he just said, Cap for Life. It's because it's cheaper. Do you know just to be a season ticket holder for the Bills, you have to buy like the rights to even be in line to get this season ticket. It's some crazy like couple $1,000s. It's like a holding fee you have to pay on top of whatever your season ticket costs. It's ridiculous. So the fact that
I believe it.
come here and you know we just have one of those vacation states that everybody wants to come to.
Well, during COVID, all the snowbirds came and moved down here from New York, so that right there took away the advantage.
I get you. I'm not.
I think we're hoping that's not the case for the players. The players are treating the Dolphins like a timeshare. The Dolphins are the timeshare of the NFL.
Yeah, we've been seeing this since X Power did this to us.
That was my point.
4 years ago, bro.
Hey, Crypto, you can give your own presentation.
I can give my own presentation now. I don't have to go to Orlando now. I can give my own presentation, right, Jake?
There you
Dolphins
go.
are the timeshare of the NFL.
Ask you how to go, Crypto. Did you tell him off?
Yeah. It was fun though. They gave me their best pitch, Ali.
Timeshare thing, Crypto? You did a timeshare thing?
Yeah, I did the presentation. Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you something. I just did one about a month ago in Destin, and this company was so bad. I was so mad by the time I got there. I ordered a t-shirt from Amazon to wear to that presentation. You know what that t-shirt said? It said, not fragile like a flower, fragile like a bomb. And I made sure they read my t-shirt. You see this? They were so scared of me. It was so funny. And they kept sending some other guy over. And I kept telling them, do I look stupid to you? Because at no time am I ever going to give you money, because that would mean I'm stupid.
Right. They was like, Pam, they was like, well, what price can you that will make you happy? I said, that's a loaded question. I looked at him and smiled. I said, what a loaded question that is. Because if I tell you anything above $1 or below $10, you're gonna say, "Oh, I can do it." I
You
told
just
you I'm
tell
not
them
ready
when
to
you pay
buy.
me. Tell them when
Hey
you pay
Shay,
me.
hey
I
Shay, you
told him that's
remember
a
in
loaded
Bayside they used
question.
to have the timeshares?
Yeah, Bayside.
In Bayside they used to have the timeshare guys do presentations that would give out like free cruises and free like hotel like weekend passes. Like we would do like half the tour and then like
Yeah,
say, "Nah, we're not
I
interested."
miss going to Bayside, man. When I was a J,
They
I
used
used to
to
go to
give out
Yeah,
free stuff. You know, you got to get
the
the free
Blue
stuff
Greens
after you
got
sit
bought
with the
out by
presentation.
Hilton.
Hey,
Hey,
That's
hey,
why
Shay,
they
Shay,
don't
you
do
got
it no
the
more,
link,
Bayside
Pam.
Shay?
still around Cap for
Yeah,
Life?
well, mine was
Yeah,
Wyndham.
Blue Green was the
And
one. Yeah, when I did a Wyndham one, and then when I was in Chicago, I went to one of their presentations. Wyndham. This one was Blue Green, but they owned by Hilton now. Hilton bought them for like $1 billion or something like. It was a crazy number. And I was like,
bought
oh, I didn't let them
Wyndham?
know that I'm already. No, Blue
Oh, Blue
Green.
Green. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, I didn't let them know that I'm already a Hilton Diamond number, so I wasn't gonna give them that to go off of. I was like, well, I'm already a Hilton number to begin with, so it don't matter.
Right,
But
right.
yeah,
Give me my free
I never.
weekend and my gift card. I'm out.
Yeah,
How many
but
ways
yeah, they
can I
like, we
say
know
no?
y'all not coming. Can you sign this waiver so you can't get this offer no more? I'm like, okay, fine.
I will say my favorite hotel to stay at, by the way, in Orlando, is the Hilton right across the street from the convention center.
Hmm.
I love that
Yeah.
hotel. I'll
Oh,
tell you
you was
this.
at that one, Ali? Yeah,
Yeah,
I drove by
I
that off
usually stay
University
there.
Boulevard.
Yeah, the one that's
I
right
think
across the
that's
street from the convention center, like the really
Universal,
fancy
right
one.
off Universal Boulevard. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord.
I stay there usually when I go, and when I go, it's like it's really like a 5-star place. I'm not gonna lie. The food's really good if you go
Hmm.
to the restaurant. They have like a water park for the kids, right? And then there's this
Hmm.
21 and over section of the pools. There's like 5 hot tubs. The water is like the most clearest water I've ever seen in my life. It's something different.
Yeah.
You just have to go there to be
So,
there to
Where's
understand.
this?
so
Orlando, you
Ali,
said?
you're saying that there's less pee on that side of the pool.
What I'm what I'm saying is
Tommy, so that's probably why it's clear,
when I
Pam.
got when I dove into the pool,
Yeah.
it did not feel like it was filled with chemicals. It felt
Wow.
like the purest, cleanest water you've ever been in your life.
The
It's
one side
something
looked like
different.
Fiji water.
They
The other
probably,
side looked like
they
Gatorade
probably,
Lime.
they
So
probably ozonated the water.
can I
It's
I
just
probably
don't know
tell
what
ozone
they
in it.
do with the water. I can just tell you it felt different. It was different.
Yeah, it's probably
you?
ozonated like you do overseas. Yep.
So can I
Yeah.
Hmm.
just tell you, I'd rather bathe with a plugged-in toaster than vacation in Orlando.
I understand. I get it. The only reason that,
Wow.
to be honest, the only
Damn,
reason I
Pam.
stayed there was because I go to conventions a lot of times that are right across the street, and it's
Right.
just easier to be able to walk there rather than finding a hotel and driving and parking and stuff. I'm just like, I just want to walk across the street, and I
Oh no,
enjoy it so much that
1,000%.
when we go
Hey
there.
Pam. Hey Pam.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pam.
hey, hold on, man.
Hey,
All the way
hey
from
Pam.
Arizona, real
Yeah.
quick, all the way from Arizona. The one I think Crypto still can't get his name right. What's going on?
Mr. Kelvin.
Oh hell no, Kelvin!
Hey Pam. I was gonna say your toaster experience, Pam. It must have been a shocking experience.
It was shocking. It was quite shocking, and it did a number on my hair. I had a
Yeah.
fro that I never had before.
Quite the shocking experience, I
It's
tell you.
very shocking. It was shocking. That's good.
Go ahead, Kelvin. What we say?
Hey, Kevin.
I've been trying all night to get into this motherfucking YouTube channel. Shouldn't make a damn sense.
You want to bathe with a toaster with me, a plugged-in toaster?
You are on your own, Pam.
I'd rather do that than go to Orlando. But I get you, Ali. If you're going to be
Hey,
at a
Pam. Actually, I
convention,
have a dolphin question for you.
oh, okay.
Would you rather play Jonas Savaianaya on the left side or the right side?
Both.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
no, you can't
Yeah,
choose both.
you can't clone him and put him. I mean,
No, because James Daniel is obviously gonna play somewhere as well. So
sure, sure.
where
you
would you
have to be
rather
the
have
right.
him? Left or right?
I mean, it probably has
You
to
got to
be
be the right
right.
side.
Whatever is
Yeah,
more
you can't put him on that
natural
left
side is
wall.
right.
Yeah,
You put him on the right.
Well, the reason I'm
put him
saying right
opposite
is
of Paul.
because
I don't want him next to Paul.
yeah, exactly. That's why I say right because I'd rather have him next to a veteran than like you said,
Then,
Paul, the rookie.
then
So
a
we have
rookie.
the
Yeah,
blind leading the blind, kind of like you know what I mean.
yeah,
And
yeah. I
and I
want to
mean when
balance the
you
line by putting him on the other side.
and like you said to help him out. Yeah, I mean, gosh, our offensive line is a little scary. I feel like Ali was saying, there are some positions that you feel okay, maybe we're going to be okay. Um, I I love our offensive line coach. I think he knows people. I think the worst thing you can do is put people on an opposite side of what they're used to. Some guys can handle that, but you're going to put a young guy there on the opposite side? I don't think so.
He says he could play both sides. He said that if he had to put
Okay,
his feet on the
so
ground on the left, he would
so
do it, but he
here
prefers the right.
here's my follow-up question. If Jonas Savaianaya starts the season on the left-hand side next to Patrick Paul, do you believe he's picked up the system quickly, or do you think that it's just more of a comfortability thing?
I would say he's picked up the system quickly based on that. Because here's the reality: you need to have, in my opinion, as part of Patrick Paul's development, you need a veteran presence there as a guard next to him, in my opinion. So
That's why you go get Dalton Reisner on the cheap.
the only reason
Yeah, we got Eichenberg, baby.
you would see it is if
shut
they
your mouth.
realize that the other side they're not doing so well, or vice versa.
Bro, I would think Drew owes us one. If he got us Waller and took away Jonnu and he has Dalton Reisner as a client, bring him here, bro, on the cheap. Bring everybody here on a 1-year deal if you want to win now.
All right, so look, here's my thought process on it.
Hey, G, put
If
that
you
Eichenberg logo, baby.
if Patrick Paul is who we think he is,
It's on the other phone.
I think he's smart. I
Mhm.
think he's going to be able to hold down that left side. If we go into September 7th against the Indianapolis Colts, and I'm gonna be there live, and I see him line up on the left hand side, that's gonna tell me two things. One, he understands where to be at what time on run plays. Two, it's gonna let me know that we're going to run the ball quite a bit. If you put him on the
Oh,
right, because if you put him on the right, he can be shielded with Austin Jackson. Like you can hide him a little bit. You can't hide him on the left.
so you're saying that if he doesn't show like super progression, super comfortable with the scheme, they're gonna try and cover him up a little bit on the right. There's a lot of
And
trust putting a guy on the left
then exact
with Tua.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's Tua's um no, that
No, the right is his blind side.
no, but what I was gonna say is that's Tua's first read. The left
Yeah.
side of the field is his first read. So if there's pressure on the left side, he's not gonna be able to get his first read off. And we know, I used to be a Tua guy. I think his injury history is not gonna allow us to do what we want to do. But just looking at him statistically, when he is able to get that first read off, the nigga's deadly. And on the left side of the field, you need that shit to be strong. So that way he can read left to right. Because he doesn't read right to left. He reads left to right. That's just how our offense works. So if they put him on the left side
I think that's a
I think that's a good
really
sign.
interesting take. That you see that as they have a lot of confidence in him, and he has earned their trust. That's a good take.
He
That's
hasn't even
interesting.
signed
I
his deal
mean,
yet.
if you just think about how our offense works, it goes from left to right because we have a left-hand quarterback.
Yep.
So he needs time, especially those first 3 seconds. He Tua needs it.
Guys, pag ayaw nyo makita, yan paanap.
What the fuck?
Somebody is speaking to their wife in a different language.
What was that?
I don't know. I got to go. They just called for my husband to go to work. He needs to. I mean, he just got off a little while ago, but he needs to go back.
man.
Space Center crap. So he's in there sound asleep, and they called him. I answered his phone, so I got to go in here. I already woke him up once, so I got to go in there and get him up. But I just love you guys, and thanks for having
Have
me
a safe
on.
4th of July, Pam. Love
Thanks
you
you
too.
guys
Easy,
too.
man.
Go Fins, baby.
Hey, don't worry. I will be doing a drive time. I will be doing drive time tomorrow. So
Oh, you will.
yeah,
Jake, you're so
6:30.
dedicated, man. You're so dedicated.
Oh,
Love
yes.
it.
All
See
right.
you guys.
All right, fam.
$20. Thank you guys. Salute to all you guys in the chat. Happy 4th of July. Thank you, Ace. Appreciate you. Thanks for the dono.
Ace, get up here, Ace. Got change his phone number on me, bro. Get up here.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mike Madsen. He passed away. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, the guy from I think he was in Donnie Brasco.
He was in so many good movies, bro. Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2.
You remember you ever play Grand Theft Auto 3?
Yeah,
He
he was one of the voice
Tony.
actors,
He was
wasn't
Tony.
he?
Yeah, he did the voice of Tony Cipriati,
Yeah.
the capo.
Guy's been in a lot of movies, surprisingly, and it's just damn.
And here's the thing: you could tell you know his voice when he talks.
Yeah,
he was also in that movie with Ashton Kutcher, the boss's daughter.
That's right, he was. I remember that.
He was the one who went into the house and started peeing all over the furniture.
Yeah. I remember that.
What happened? Who did that shit?
There was a movie called The Boss's Daughter, and because of the, I think it was her. He was looking for her uncle, the boss's brother, who's like a scumbag, and he walked into the guy's house and started peeing all over the furniture.
Oh damn!
He was Mr. Who in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, he was Mr. Who.
No, what was his name? Mr. what? Mr. Brown, Mr. Red, Mr. What was the color?
In Reservoir Dogs, he was
Mr. White. No,
he was Mr. Blonde.
Yeah,
Mr. Blonde. That's who he was. Speaking of which, in the movie Kill Bill, I remember the
guy from Kill Bill. Yeah. He gave me like that Mickey Rourke vibe. Mickey Rourke vibe. He got a cigarette in his mouth, right?
Mickey Rourke vibe. You're right. He did.
Yeah, that was the guy who he buried her alive.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
When is the last time y'all have watched Kill Bill?
Oh, I've watched it recently. I want to say about 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
That's my ringtone.
Which volume?
I watched the first one about 6 months ago. The second one I watched a little bit further past that. But yeah, I watch it when it's on. If I see it on, I'll watch it.
The real life actor Kill Bill is my hero.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, he was the. What's funny is Bruce Lee wanted to play him because he was the star of the show Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Which Bruce Lee wrote it, and then Hollywood ripped him off, and he was supposed to play that character, but they gave it to him instead.
Man,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee can barely talk.
What you say?
No,
Yeah,
don't listen to me, bro.
I know.
I just liked Kill Bill. I thought it was interesting.
That's just funny though. He
related
can
to
barely
a
talk.
story, bro. I thought it was good.
Kung Fu the show. Yeah, they ripped him off.
We would have needed subtitles who killed with fucking Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Well, at least at the time the movie was released. No, yeah, you ever see those kung fu movies where the mouth be talking and all of a sudden it's like it's still moving?
Bro, the Ip Man, that's my shit.
that was
The Ip Man is my shit.
Chinese
And you can't
subtitles.
understand anything the motherfuckers are saying unless you got subtitles on.
Oh yeah. You are gonna be here.
Mouth the movie.
It was
Hey,
it was
Man,
lit. It was lit, dude.
Can I ask a hot question about Bruce Lee real quick? I'm a Bruce Lee fan, and
By the way,
I
I'm going to see his grave in October. I mean,
and I also
August.
like
August.
Jackie Chan, to be honest.
His grave he's buried out there.
But let me ask you this question real quick. If Bruce Lee was still alive and finished out his career, who do you think you would say is the better stunt man? Because people don't know this, but a lot of stunts that Bruce Lee did, he did himself. He didn't use anybody. Still, Jackie Chan is better. Okay.
Jackie Chan. I mean,
Jackie Chan.
I'm just curious because there's a movie that Bruce Lee did that the only reason they added it to the movie. Hold on. The only reason they added it.
Tom Cruise.
The only reason they added it to the movie is because some guy that had an issue with him started a real fist fight on the set, and they filmed it and added it into the movie. So it's actually Bruce Lee and this dude having a real damn fight. So that's why I was curious, like, would you consider that a stunt, or like, does that count for anything? Is basically what I'm asking.
Oh man, Jackie Chan, literally. If you see them behind the scenes of
I get you
of Rumble in the Bronx, that dude broke his ankle and still was in the movie. If you look at one of his, if you pay attention, one of his shoes is actual cast.
Yeah, he's wearing a boot.
Yeah,
I get you. All I'm saying is that Bruce Lee did all this.
Even our parents will say Jackie Chan, bro. He's a dog, bro.
I get you. I don't know. I just really believe that Bruce Lee is.
Bruce Lee. My middle name is Lee. I fuck with Bruce Lee, but he ain't fucking with Jackie, man.
I get you. I get what you're saying.
I think it comes down to who the OG is, though. Like Bruce Lee did it,
but the OG is Bruce Lee. But just because the grasshopper, you know what I'm saying? That's what the motherfuckers believe in.
I think G understands what I'm saying. He did it first, and then Jackie Chan took off and ran.
Right. He was,
Jackie Chan
basically what I'm trying to say.
He watched Bruce Lee and emulated Bruce Lee. You see what I'm saying? Like, you always got to put the dude that came first, because without Bruce
if that's
Lee,
the case,
no
if that's the case, then you got to put Dr. J ahead of Michael Jordan.
Nah, you got
an argument.
That's a good hot take. That is a good hot take.
No, it is not. No, it is not. You talking about
Dr. It's Fame and Doctor, yeah. Doctor did come before him.
Nigga, a doctor and got an associate's degree. I want to hear that shit.
Yeah, but man, go look at his numbers though, man. That's the thing. Wasn't a whole lot of internet and instant access to like stats and shit. But you put Dr. J's numbers up on the board and see.
Well, you got also too. I want you to think about this. This is something that people don't look at when it comes to Dr. J. You got to remember back in the day, there was only a few teams, so the talent wasn't as the talent was more concentrated versus now where it's a little more spread out. You know what I mean? So you had the best of the best playing on certain teams. Back when Dr. J, you didn't have too many teams playing, so you had, like I said, the talent pool wasn't as spread out as it was when in today or when Jordan was playing.
Cap for Life, is that Chinese connection? The China connection? Which one is that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's the one with where he gets the 4 blades. Like no, that's not it. I'm thinking of something else.
If this is at the ice factory, this is where he has the real fight.
Hey,
A real
Crypto
fight.
probably old enough to remember, man. It used to be on Saturdays, man. Be like a whole kung fu
Oh yeah,
movie
man.
marathons and shit.
I remember that
Samurai
shit.
Saturday, bro.
Oh yeah.
It was a
Something
Samurai
like that.
Sunday.
See this nigga Crypto remember the first slave being free.
Oh shit.
On that old.
Hey man, I keep looking
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
laughing
That
emoji and the
nigga,
100
that
and shit
nigga's
like that.
social
Like it's
security number start
Yeah.
with a 0.
Are you trying to say Crypto's first 4th of July was the 4th of July?
His social security number
Nope.
start with a 0. That's how old Crypto is.
Damn.
He was there from day 0.
You guys want to hear something crazy? My father-in-law and myself have the same last 4 for our social. Exact
Yeah,
same.
that's weird. That is weird.
What's
That is
what's the other
Super weird, to
5?
be honest.
That is weird.
I mean, since you're on the topic, what's the last 4 of your routing number?
I'm not gonna.
Why don't you ever tell Ollie? You've never told me your birthday. I want to make sure I send you a card this
I think
year.
it was like May something, right? I think it was.
We're gonna need his address too. What's your address?
We already know he's close to Orlando. We need you to take us to the airport.
No, if he's in Orlando, we can find his address. That's good enough.
I'm not in Orlando, but I am within 2
I
hours.
mean, there's from what I'm looking, there's 15 Ali the Persians in Orlando. So
Oh yeah, we can narrow that down. That's easy.
Yep, it's only 15.
Do
Yeah,
you guys play Marvel Rivals, by the way? That's curiosity.
almost.
I don't think I played
I
that.
started playing this shit like a few weeks ago, but it's just not
I think I
bad.
played that one.
Hey, by the way, is Arizona? You're in Arizona, right?
Is there
Is that are you guys on Mountain Time or West Coast time?
West Coast time?
Okay.
Yeah, in the summer is west, and in the winter time, and the spring is what? The winter is what? Mountain Time.
Summer, spring, we're on West Coast time. Fall, winter, we're in Mountain time.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, yo. I ain't never know that in my life. I learned
Yeah,
something today.
we don't change
They don't
time
change,
zones at all. Like we don't lose an hour, we don't gain an hour. We just either
Where Arizona?
yeah, we don't
Yeah,
change time
states.
zones.
I think that's one of the only. I think
That's in Hawaii.
that
That-
Arizona.
yeah.
Yeah, they for the whole state they don't change it.
No,
Yep.
we just being here just chilling. Hot as hell.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Arizona was the last one to recognize MLK.
Oh, yeah, you racist niggas.
Right.
It's a trap by
Man,
Public
Right.
Enemy.
They're the
God
last
damn,
of
all these
everything.
Mexicans
What
out
do you
here to
mean
be
recognize MLK? You mean make a street after him?
racist.
No, make it a federal holiday.
Make it a holiday. They make it a holiday.
YouTube by the time I get to Arizona by Public Enemy.
Yeah,
So
Bro,
that's every state.
Arizona
Some companies
didn't
are picky,
recognize
bro.
MLK.
Some companies give it.
Some companies get the day off and some companies don't. They need to rectify that.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that don't
Yeah,
give
that don't do federal holidays.
just
Yeah.
only like banks and schools are closed. It's like it. The fairs,
Yeah,
like
a lot of federal, close to federal government jobs. Those
okay,
close
yeah,
to.
yeah.
My company
get
will
those.
have federal contracts that were required to be open. So certain federal holidays, we do a draft where people bid on schedules because we still pay holiday pay and overtime. But there are and then other holidays, even though it's a federal holiday, we may not pay out holiday pay, but we definitely pay overtime on those days for sure. So it's only because we're required, according to our government contracts, to be open. So we're considered healthcare. That's primarily the reason why.
Yeah, essential jobs, essential
Yeah,
positions. You
exactly.
still have to work. or how to write staffing. They could downsize the staffing.
Yeah, I mean they do that in some cases, but like with the amount of people that we're responsible for, we have to have almost close to normal staffing at the time. So, but yeah, usually most federal holidays we have off though, most of the time.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to end this soon, but I want to put up a poll question, whatever. And being that 4th of July is the revolution, whatever, right? Can anybody name? Doesn't matter what sport. Name their favorite player that a player that revolutionized the game. I guess I'll start with Deion Sanders. For me,
I'm gonna go with our very own Sheikh Dan Marino.
Tua Tagovailoa, you say?
No, Dan the man. Because of in that era, passing was more of the new paradigm. He had all the records, and during that era where it was nothing but running was the dominant way you played the good game. So I'm gonna say he revolutionized it by being the first to pretty much do everything in that category. So yeah, I'm gonna say our own Dan Marino revolutionized the sport.
Anybody else want to chime in?
I'm gonna say a big one, and I have to explain it. It may have.
Eichenberg?
No.
Yeah,
Some
Eichenberg
of you
definitely
are
revolutionized.
gonna know
Ain't that
exactly.
right, Batman?
Some of you are gonna know exactly what I'm talking about right off the get-go. Some I may have to explain it. But I'm gonna say Muhammad Ali revolutionized boxing, and I will tell you why. Muhammad Ali, boxing was a thing. Everybody knew about it. Ultimately, some people knew about it worldwide, but he actually put boxing on a global stage with the amount of fans and the amount of people that tuned in to watch him fight every time he was on this in the ring. You talk about Rumble in the Jungle. He proved that David can beat Goliath, because people may not know this. George Foreman was a beast back then. He was the guy
dude.
They
He
all
was a
thought
monster.
he was muscle and beat the hell out of Muhammad.
He was a fucking monster.
It didn't happen because Ali had the heart and decided, you know what? I'm just gonna outlast this man and get him when he's tired. And he
to be honest with you, I looked at today. They showed today. George, they were about the same height. I think George Foreman only had 15, 20 pounds on him.
I don't know, bro. I want to say he was bigger than that. At least they felt that way. In my opinion, like without Muhammad Ali, I don't know where some of these boxers would be here. I don't know if a Mike Tyson would be here. I don't know if people after him would be here. In a sense, we may not get the same type of boxing, if you understand what I'm saying. I personally think he revolutionized it. You can disagree, but I'm telling you straight up, there's no boxing without Muhammad Ali. That's my opinion.
Why? But why though?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he gave the people something to stand for, something to cheer for, man. He gave something that everybody, it doesn't matter what nation you're in, you knew who he was. You can be in the streets of Beirut and knew who Muhammad Ali was. You could be in Germany and know who he was. You could be in Russia. You can be in South Africa and knew who Muhammad Ali was. It didn't matter what country, what state. It's like Jordan. Without Jordan, there's no NBA. It's almost the same exact thing.
Oh, Jordan, there's no NBA?
I'm just telling you right now, every sport has a guy that you can say is the GOAT no matter what. With the exception of the NFL Every other sport has a guy that you can say is the guy. Michael
Okay.
Yeah,
Jordan
but
was
we're
the
not-
guy
that-
of the NBA. Well, I'm sorry, Muhammad Ali was the guy of boxing. And
All
that's
right. So check this out. So check this out. All right, here we go. Here we go. Muhammad Ali was. Here we go. Rumble in the Jungle. At the time, Muhammad Ali was 32. George Foreman was 24. Muhammad Ali came in at 212. George Foreman 220. They both were 6'3". Muhammad Ali had a 2-inch reach advantage.
yes, everybody knows about.
They're both their chest was the same. Forearms, a half inch was Foreman. Thighs, maybe Ali had that. So they're pretty much.
I understand you're
They-
saying
they
the
just
size,
measure
but go back
thighs?
and read what people were saying prior to that fight. Even how Muhammad Ali had to train. If you ever watch the actual behind the scenes footage of Rumble in the Jungle,
I'm just
find
showing you what
out-
I'm seeing in my eyes. They were the same size.
you'll find that he trained against bigger guys. Why? Because he knew that the other guy was slower. My point is that Muhammad Ali gave you something to root for back then, right?
Yeah.
And very few players do that in sports. Pele did that in soccer. Freaking Michael Jordan did that in the NBA. Muhammad Ali did that in basketball, right? I'm sure if you look at
Muhammad
other
Ali in
sports,
boxing, you mean?
wait, what's his name? Wayne Gretzky
I
did
thought
that.
you
in
said
hockey.
Muhammad Ali did that in
Nah,
basketball.
Shay, let him go. I know what he mean, but I didn't know Muhammad Ali played basketball. But
I got
know what he mean.
I got one. It'll be LeBron James.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's good.
Well,
Yeah, he did. He revolutionized
like
basketball in his
LeBron,
era.
like LeBron is the closest thing to Jordan. If we are being 100%,
But
And he
that's not what
changed
I'm
it
saying.
too.
That's not what the question was, though.
it's not the
Because
question.
Michael
How do you
Jordan also
revolutionize
revolutionized basketball.
Bro, why does everybody always pass Bill Russell? Like if he didn't ever do anything.
Because Bill Russell was playing against
I was
niggas
gonna
like
say
me
Bill.
and
I
you.
was gonna say Bill Russell also, but I just decided to say LeBron
Bro,
James.
Bill Russell was playing against electricians and plumbers and postmen.
Pretty
Isn't that
much.
revolutionary though? Like didn't he set the defensive standard in the NBA?
He broke the racial barrier. Bill Russell
That's
was the whole thing.
revolutionary.
That's revolutionary.
Yeah,
That's
that's
revolutionary.
revolutionary.
That's
Broke
what's
the
about
racial
as
barrier.
Well,
revolutionary
you gonna
as
have
it
to say
gets.
if
That's like
if you
saying
Jackie
what's his
Robinson.
name? Yeah, Jackie
Yeah.
Robinson. That's like
you
saying
gotta say Robinson too. Yep.
absolutely 100,000,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Robinson's on it.
if that's the fucking case, you can pick the best white corner and say that's revolutionary. Are we talking about people who are revolutionary? Are we talking
Bro,
about
I'm
motherfuckers
gonna
who?
But
give you a
we
good
only
one,
talked
bro.
about
Oh yeah.
Oh
people
man,
I'm gonna
so
give you a good one,
man,
bro.
so are you saying that Ethan Bonner is revolutionary?
He
I'm
might
gonna
be.
give you a good one, bro. And I don't even
Yeah.
like baseball. I don't even like baseball, but I'm gonna give you a good one. Jim Abbott, no hitter. That guy has one arm and it's pitching in the MLB, bro. That's revolutionary. I don't
Yeah.
even like baseball, but if you could pitch with one hand and have a no hitter in the pros,
Yeah.
JC is asking who was Mike Tyson's favorite fighter. I believe correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I believe it's somebody named not somebody. Roberto
Donkey?
Duran, I think is who his favorite fighter was.
Muhammad Ali.
yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
But if you actually watch certain documentaries, he's cited that Muhammad Ali is definitely an influence and one of his idols too. So, yeah, that's who his favorite fighter was. But my point is like if you walk in the streets of like I'm thinking of third world countries like India or somebody like that, and you ask them, hey, name one boxer that you know is a big time
You
boxer.
say Muhammad Ali or
They'll
Mike
say
Tyson?
Muhammad Ali, and that's my point. That was my point.
Well, Tyson will have to be put on that list.
Tyson, yes, definitely.
Definitely on my my Mountain Rushmore of boxing. It's Muhammad Ali and Tyson, and then I have some,
Evander
along with
Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield.
The infamous bite.
He wasn't
I
as
don't know if he was that good,
revolutionary.
though.
but he wasn't as revolutionary as Mike Tyson. And
I think
that was true because before they actually fought each other,
What about Floyd
it
Mayweather?
was almost like Mike
The
Tyson
defensive fighter. Yeah,
was fighting to lose the belt,
revolutionized
even
defense.
though
yeah.
Holyfield had the belt, and it was like Tyson had already won it, and it's his to lose.
Yeah,
What
Like
about
that's what
one thing about, like I
that's
said,
what
one
the
thing about
static
Floyd,
was.
brother,
Like that's what the
he
talking.
revolutionized defense.
It was crazy. Like Evander won still, and he was still like, look, I don't know. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
I broke my back.
Hey guys. No, Ali, I wasn't
because
asking.
it's
No,
just
Mike
that's how
Tyson's even
magnetic.
said his
And
favorite
look
fighter
at
was Jack
and
Dempsey.
look at when he fought Jake Paul. Like that
Sorry?
place.
No, I did it by a motorcycle accident. The doctor discovered I was doing my sit-ups 2,500 a day with my 20-pound weight. And one day I couldn't move anymore. And I asked the doctor, what's wrong? And he said, believe it or not,
They're breaking up.
Cap for life, you broke out. I couldn't understand what you said.
Hey Ali, I wasn't sure if you heard me, but Mike Tyson's favorite fighter was Jack Dempsey.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that. I've read
He's even said it in multiple interviews. That was his like favorite fighter, but he didn't want to be like a Muhammad Ali. He was more into guys like Sonny Liston, like people that were actually like feared.
Sonny Liston, yeah.
Hey, so I got one for a revolutionary dude. And I want to take it back to football and go with Edrin James. Out of
Okay.
the so and the reason being, I think a lot of these players, man, really are missing the message. He was ahead of his time. He made it
Right.
in business. So when it came time for him to come to the NFL, he said, "Ain't no way I'm paying an agent more money than my mama made in her lifetime to make this deal." That's what he went to college for. So, like literally, the man, got into the draft, got drafted, and did all of that without an agent. And it never really caught on. But like again, that says that he was ahead of his time, and it is revolutionary. So, true story. At the casino in Immokalee, this was after he got traded out there to the Seahawks. It's like the end of his career, And I said, "Yo, Ed, you gonna I said, you're going to the Hall of Fame." I said, "You're gonna take the dreads into the Hall of Fame." And he had them cut short. He always kept the dreads, but they were like down low. And he looked at me, he thought about it, and he said, "We'll see." And he ended up, the bust that they make, of each of the players or whatever, he kept his dreads. So he like opened the door for cats because nobody else in the Hall of Fame actually had a statue, they bust made with the dreadlocks. So yeah, Edrin James, man, way ahead of
By
his
the way,
time.
if we're going back to football, Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That style. Yeah, he kind of like took the torch from Randall Cunningham. That style of
That's
play.
who I want to be. I don't want to be a fighter.
Hey,
but then I saw recruited around. That's who
hey, Crypto, I can ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
That's who I want.
How much?
By the way, I just Googled it. Hold on, real quick. I just Googled it, right? According to Google, it says there's two answers. According, it says Mike Tyson's favorite fighter was Roberto Duran. And then there's another one that says, according to a podcast he did back in December 2024, he says Ali, Duran, and Sugar Ray.
Duran was a beast.
right now.
It's possible that Mike Tyson has named several people, over his career. So who knows who his favorite is, to be honest.
Wasn't Duran like the one he had like 100 and some odd fights before he actually took his first loss?
I think you might be right.
Yeah, I think it was. I think like people talk like make a big deal out of the Floyd.
I want to be like. I know I want to be a fighter, but then I saw Roberto Duran. I said, "That's what the fuck I want to be." Duran. I said, "That's who I want to be." You motherfuckers, people scared to look at him.
Dude, it's crazy. He had like 100, and I think it was like 108 fights or something like that before he actually took his first loss.
So a good friend of mine, he's married to Muhammad Ali's trainer's daughter, right?
Yeah, Roberto Duran is 103 and 16 losses.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Go ahead, ask me a question. Hey, who had a question for me?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, man, like, just a ballpark figure. What do agents make with like a first round draft pick if they're their agent off that one deal, like each player?
I think they get 3% or something like that, between 3 and 10% of what they get of the negotiated deal.
So
Some
like
of them get up to 10%.
a player that's drafted like number 4 overall. I can't remember how much Brady got back in the day, but I feel like he's
The
saving a good
agents
chunk of
themselves are
change.
getting at least 3. Yeah.
Man,
So
anyway,
literally,
hey,
But that's like
use his knowledge for
advisory
that.
stuff and all of that.
For sure.
So yeah, they get a minimum 3%. They get sometimes high as 10.
Shit, have you seen the amount of money these guys are getting from just like NIL? It's even more with the college kids. How much these guys are getting in NIL? Like the street agents, they're even getting more
Right.
than. Yeah, they're robbing these kids. Yeah, it's
But
pretty crazy.
if you're
That's why
if you
some
know
of the
you're an
parents are
athlete,
now getting more involved because of it.
Yeah.
somebody need to major in business in your family, man. Like, go to school so that way by the time you're ready to graduate, you don't have
That's
to
what
pay
I'm
nobody.
saying.
That's what
Lamar
Edrin did,
Jackson
and
ain't looking so dumb
he
now,
did it back
right?
in '99.
Well, you know who's
Exactly.
done that? Well, you know who's done that is Jaden Daniels' mom. She went to
Oh,
school for
Lamar
that.
Jackson's mom.
Yeah, Lamar
She's
Jackson
the
mom.
one
Yeah.
that did
I
the
want to
contract
see more of it.
negotiation.
More. Give me more.
Yeah,
That
that way it stays in the family. At least you ain't got to worry about being ripped
that
off. It's
Yeah.
at
You know what
least
I'm
it's
saying?
staying in the family.
and that was
Yeah.
25 years ago. Edrin seen that.
Yeah. You ain't got to worry about some stranger ripping your kid off. At least you know if it's gonna be in the family, that money's gonna stay in the family at least.
And if you know you probably ain't gonna graduate, why not major in business for 3 years while you're in college? If you know you're going to pros,
Yeah, that
you
should
in
be by
school, might as
default your
well.
major. Yeah, that's another
Yeah,
good smart move too,
And
G.
business
Yeah,
degrees are probably
if
the
you're an
easiest to
athlete,
get.
major in business at least. Yep, exactly. Business finance.
100%.
That everybody that I know that at least goes to like community college always majors business.
Yeah, that's a smart move for these athletes to do. You know, that we at least they could probably be their own agent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah,
Makes a whole
exactly.
lot of sense to
Major
me.
because you're there on the full ride anyways. Might as well go get a business major degree while you're at it.
Yeah. They changed the rules a little bit in college football when it comes to NIL now.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Now the schools can actually pay instead
Well,
of it going through the collectives.
No, I was just gonna say they can't pay up to a certain amount.
Isn't it like 30 mil? Like they have a cap at like 30 million, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, they have a cap space now. It's like basically a
Yeah.
cap that you have to follow.
All right.
So now teams are not necessarily paying like top dollar for players. So it's forcing companies to invest in players already. Like, for example, a player that I would love Miami to have, and I know you agree with this, JC, that this guy is probably one of the best wide receivers in college football.
Oh, Jeremiah Smith is the number one wide receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah, he just signed with Adidas. I don't know if you guys saw that in the news. So players are starting to now get that type of money. That's basically how they're supplementing. So yeah, I do think parents need to take a business course and learn how to become their kid's agent. I definitely agree with that 100%.
Because that's what Lamar Jackson's mom is, his agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because it's kind of ridiculous some of the deals that some of these kids are getting, like the Bryce Underwood deal, 15 million or whatever it was. It's pretty nuts.
That's true.
And you know what's crazy is he might not even he might not even start this year. I don't know if you saw that. Like, I guess he hasn't like woed anybody in camp or anything like that.
I heard that he wasn't looking so good. So
No. Even in the from what I seen in like the spring, from like the spring highlights, no, he didn't. Him or was it Juju Smith that Colorado got from Carrollton? Doesn't look that great either. I think the kid out of that transferred from Liberty will be the starter in Colorado.
interesting. I'll have to check his video
Yeah,
out.
no, that's where. Yeah, no, in Colorado actually they look horrible. Like they look so small.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought I was actually I didn't even feel like I was watching varsity high. Like their players are so. I thought I was actually watching like JV highlights when I was watching them play.
I will say this. I know Colorado. I understand what you said there. That the guy from Liberty is probably going to be the starter, and they're the guy that the number one overall QB that they got is maybe not the best. But that conference, the Big 12, they got a lot of QBs in that could be something in the future. So that's definitely a conference.
You know what I'm curious about is where was Retzlaff from BYU. I don't know if you saw he got kicked out of school because he broke the because when you go to like a Mormon school, you're not allowed to have you're not allowed to have sex. So he's in the portal now. I wonder where he ends up.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It'll be really interesting what happens.
But I like the kid Levitt at Arizona State.
Levitt. Sounds too close to Levis, man. We're gonna have another Levitt combination.
Yeah, he's not bad. I also like the guy. God, what school is it that he went to? The quarterback for Oklahoma State. Let me pull up his name real quick.
Well, I know the one that just transferred. What was it to Oklahoma from? Was it Washington State? Everybody's got a lot of high expectations for him.
Oh, John Mater? No,
Yeah, Mater. Yeah, Mater. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, everybody's got super high expectations for him. But you know what? You know who my favorite is to win the Natty this year is Clemson. Clemson is so like they probably got 5 players that'll go either in the first or the first and second.
They're Clemson definitely they're interesting. I think the team that really has to show up, because if they don't, I really think Coach Franklin is out, is Penn State.
Oh, Penn State,
Penn State needs to do something.
But I'm not high on Drew Aller. I actually don't like him as a prospect.
Well, it's crazy. They need to bring in receivers. If you're going to have a quarterback like that, you need to have receivers too.
Yeah.
I
but
think
Penn State they never beat Michigan. They don't do well against Ohio State. You know, and those are the two teams. Like even if you win a natty, like I even feel like Ryan Day, even though he just won a natty, if he doesn't beat Michigan, that's the alumni. That's the game they care about way more than a national championship. To be honest, like I can actually see him still being on the hot seat if he doesn't win.
It's kind of hard. I'm an Ohio State fan, and it's hard for me because, I want to beat Michigan more than anything, and I would agree with you ultimately. But the fact that we can still lose to Michigan and still go on and win the national title, I'm kind of like, what's more important to me at this point? It's very hard.
But you know what? Have you been following like the recruiting at all? Because that's another thing too that I've seen too is like Michigan's been winning recruiting, like actually beating it. Like I think they got the number 1 deep edge in the 2016 class, and they got Bryant.
I've been looking into it, right? Parts of it is primarily because they're overspending on players. Right?
Oh yeah.
And they're not necessarily. I'm not sure if they're breaking rules yet or not. I have to do more research. But I think there might be they might have they may have the ability to spend way more because they have a lot of personnel that they haven't spent on. They didn't spend the 30 million that or not 39 million. I'm sorry, 20 million that Ohio State did the previous year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they may.
And that's why I put Sarkisian on the hot seat too, because you know what? He's had multiple $30 million rosters and hasn't lived up to expectations.
That is definitely true. Sarkisian is definitely
And the thing about going to Texas, if you go to Texas, you got to remember too, they have that Lambo deal. So if you're a high level recruit, you get free Lambos just to go to Texas.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Super crazy.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's you ever see the recruitment videos there? Like they literally like have like they just put Lambos all over the stadium and everything. Like,
That's
it's pretty
crazy.
nuts. Yeah. That's why I say, dude, if I was like a high level recruit in today's age, that's where I'm going. I'm going to Texas. Either that or Georgia, because then I can even, get into DUIs and I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm still going to the league.
So, big game the last week of August, Ohio State versus Texas. That's going to be like the biggest game, in my opinion, to kick off college football.
You know who's got a crazy schedule this year is Florida. I was actually going to ask Shake about this. Florida's schedule this year is pretty insane.
Yeah, just like last year.
And I saw Urban Meyer's prediction. I think he had it like them losing 5 games at least. But do you think do you think Billy Napier is gone if he doesn't at least get to a bowl?
Yeah, that and if I don't know, man. I think they're pretty vested in Napier, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I think the one thing they're scared about is the fact that, listen, since he's gotten there, I think he's been the best recruit since Urban Meyer.
Yeah. No, he has, and that was one of the reasons why stayed is because they kept Napier. Like I think if he would have been out, he would have transferred out. Yeah,
that's one of the person that they don't want to lose is DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing for me with Florida, because I actually think they're a dark horse to win the SEC if things were to play out perfectly, right? I think Lagway, if he can be healthy, I think he gives you guys a fighting chance. I also think that Florida's, if you look at the recruiting that they've done in the last 2 recruiting cycles, Florida has had some major wins. And I think that they may have personnel that, could maybe do something. I mean, are they going to go out and kick everyone's ass? No. But
No.
I definitely think they're going to give a fighting chance. We saw what happened at the end of last season. They were playing at a level that, I will argue it was some of the best things I've seen out of the SEC the last few games that they had. And if they can carry that into next season and have a pure, healthy quarterback for the entire season, you guys might be there. Even if you don't get into the playoff, I think you guys are going to be competitive, that you should at least be in the conversation. That's what I think.
Yeah. I tell you what, like I said, it's nothing new, man. The schedule,
What were you saying, Crypto? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's a good point.
Yeah. Now, if you look at another team in Florida, we'll talk about the Hurricanes real quick. I think if anybody's on the hot seat, it's Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal is on the hot seat big time. You've had back-to-back seasons where you have a star-stud quarterback. You have to deliver. I'm sorry. You have to deliver. You have to win the ACC. You get yourself in this playoff, because at this point, I don't know. I just don't see it. You keep signing all these recruiting players for what? You know what I mean? It last year, damn, you guys should have had it in the bag.
The one thing I like about
I don't know if he's
real quick,
because
one thing I like about Billy Napier is he seems like the type that you know that he probably would try to like to put UM in the schedule more often, which I would like to see that.
Oh, just a point I just wanted to make real quick. I listened to this guy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of like Steve Kim. They basically call him like the Korean Cosell. Mm-hmm. He's mainly a boxing analyst, but he's like a super huge like Miami fan. Yeah. And he says like he doesn't see Cristobal being on the hot seat just because of how much they have invested in him.
You might be right. But if I'm let's say I'm running it like more like a pro team, not necessarily a college team. You know what I mean?
Well, now that's how you have to run it now is like a pro, just because of the NIL. It's
That's
it's
true.
literally no longer even college sports anymore.
I get you. I mean, for me, it's like we're investing money all over the place, spending money on these players and everything. For
Yeah.
what? If you're not going to deliver and just be, on the outside every time, you got to deliver at some point. This is the same thing with Ryan Day. Ryan Day had what 4 games versus Michigan we've lost in a row now, and it's been like, we have all this hype and everything only to lose it. He finally delivers. So he finally did his job to get himself off the hot seat, right? Mario Cristobal, in my opinion, he doesn't necessarily have to win the national championship. Just get you guys in the damn playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, and that's why Jimbo Fisher lost his job. Like Texas A&M could pay more money than anybody in the country, and they never delivered.
And tell you what, Jimbo Fisher had back-to-back #1 recruiting classes.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Jimbo Fisher.
Dude, Texas A&M. It's no joke the money they can spend, and I think it was a Tech. I think even Texas Tech this year, overspent a bunch too.
Oregon too. Oregon spends has a lot of money too. They spend.
Yep.
Oregon
And Dan Lanning hasn't done that great either.
What you say now?
I was saying Dan Lanning hasn't done that great either.
Mm-hmm.
Like winning. He had Herbert. He had Dylan Gabriel that played 5 years in college.
I thought
you gotta win.
Cristobal had him. Mario Cristobal had Herbert.
I think it wasn't he there? Was Lanning there? Because I know Lanning was with Georgia. I know he was the defensive coordinator, right?
I remember Mario Cristobal was with Herbert because Von Holland played for Cristobal.
Yeah.
I'm just glad all these COVID years are gone now, so we won't see any more 7-year, 9-year players in college.
Right.
But I don't like the. Did you guys see the new thing they did? And now if you play JUCO, that doesn't affect your how many years you can play. Like the JUCO years don't count anymore. I don't know if you. That's why Pavia is still in the. Pavia was able to get another year of eligibility.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I know they changed the transfer rule. They added another transfer window. Unbelievable.
Yep. What is it like through the 20th or 30th, right, or whatever this month? There's going to be another one.
They added 3 windows. It's ridiculous, bro. I mean, for me, it's like this. The NIL, okay, that's kind of crazy. But the craziness is the freaking transfer windows.
That's what hurts. But that's why I love the SEC. Because you know what? Because you can't go like the SEC has a rule. Like if you can't transfer to another SEC school.
Oh, that's interesting. Then they should all do that.
Yeah. I think eventually it's just going to be 2 conferences. Like at the end, like it's going to be the Big Ten and then SEC eventually.
Or maybe break it down to 4, like the East, South, West, and North.
And then I feel like, what I feel like they should do too is like a school like North Dakota State, right? They've won, what is it, like 10 natties in like the past 20 years. They need to force those schools to move up instead of just like staying where they are, like D2.
So you're talking about promotion and deregulation and all that, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
And then Cam Newton made the point too, like with these schools that don't win in the SEC get demoted out of the SEC if they don't win, and then move up different schools. And what's it called? Julian Edelman and Gronk were actually talking about this with the NFL as well, as like orgs like the Jets and stuff, if they don't win, drop them down a level until they do win, and then have like maybe like the highest USFL team or whatever move up to the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be in the Canadian League soon. Don't worry.
Oh man.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
I thought about a situation instead of doing it where we get thrown into a different division. What if like you mess with the cap space that you're allowed to have? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, what do you think about lottery for the NFL?
yeah.
To stop
That would
teams
be
from
interesting
tanking.
too. That's something too I've also thought of. I don't like what happened in the NBA recently though. I mean, freaking Mavericks get the freaking number one
Yeah,
overall pick.
but come on, that
That's
just
right.
seems so fixed.
It does feel so fixed. It really does.
Like you traded literally your best player, like a generational guy, and then you get the first overall.
Look, for me, it's this: if you're a playoff team or you played in the play-in for the playoff, I think that you should not be in the lottery whatsoever. That's just my.
But then, did you see as well? Like they're talking about Dallas even moving to Vegas.
Really, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, because of the owners or whatever, like are huge into like betting, and then there's no, I guess it's not allowed in like Texas, and they're trying to get like they're trying to move the team over for that just to make more money.
Yeah, man. Listen, I think Utah should have got the number one overall. They've been tanking for 30 years.
That's cap.
Did you guys see Utah still wants 2 first-round picks for their center?
No, they're gonna pay him.
Oh.
Yeah. But hey.
Shake Money, thank you so
Get
much
it
for
all
having
done.
me, and y'all have a good night. I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Hit the like button.
G2.
Appreciate it,
All right, guys, you all have a good night.
Thanks.
All right, y'all, man. Be safe. Thank you for coming up, man, by the way. All right, y'all.
Thanks for having me,
Yeah,
man.
appreciate it.
Hey,
Thanks,
by the
Yeah,
way,
G.
man, G2,
Appreciate it, G.
we
sure,
I'm gonna be ending in the blender next this month, so I gotta get you on as a guest. I had Marino's Goat, which is on Larry's Case, and it's not this network, by the way. It's on another channel. I do another channel called Fanatic Fury Fan with Larry K.
For sure. Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna check it out, man. I'm just like look at the format, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely do get it in, man.
All right, my brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Be
Appreciate
safe.
it, G. Appreciate it. Thanks for
All
coming
right, for
by.
sure, Crypto. You already know, man.
Hey,
Salute,
man,
man.
if you want to kick it backstage, we're gonna be backstage
I
chatting a
don't
little
even know
bit.
how that worked, man.
No,
Let's
just
talk.
stick around. Don't even go nowhere.
All right.
All right. Be safe, y'all.